The year is 2024. Donald J. Trump has secured a second term as President of the United States. The world watches in disbelief and apprehension. What will this mean for the global order? Will it be strengthened or shattered? These questions keep many awake at night. The impact on global politics is profound. His first term marked a dramatic departure from traditional American foreign policy. Alliances were tested and trade wars waged. Will Trump continue on this path or chart a new course? Will he double down on America first or rebuild bridges with allies? The answers will shape the future of international relations. The world is watching, waiting, and wondering. One of the most significant shifts in American foreign policy under the Trump administration was the re-evaluation of alliances. Long-standing partnerships, some dating back to the aftermath of World War II, were called into question. The America First doctrine placed a premium on pursuing American interests above all else. NATO found itself at the center of this storm. Trump criticized NATO members for not spending enough on defense. He even threatened to withdraw the United States from the alliance. The America First approach extended beyond NATO. Trump's relationships with key allies were often strained by trade disputes. The Trans-Pacific Partnership was swiftly abandoned by Trump. The potential for a second Trump term raises serious concerns about the future of American alliances. Will the United States continue to prioritize its own interests above those of its allies? Will NATO survive another 4 years of pressure from within? The answers to these questions will have far-reaching consequences for global security and stability. Trade, a cornerstone of the global economy, became a weapon under the Trump administration. Trump's belief in protectionist policies led him to impose tariffs on goods from China, Mexico, Canada, and the European Union. This ignited trade wars, disrupting global supply chains and creating uncertainty in the markets. The trade war with China, in particular, sent ripples throughout the world. Both countries imposed billions of dollars worth of tariffs on each other's goods, escalating tensions and impacting businesses and consumers alike. While the full impact of these trade wars is still unfolding, they highlight the potential for economic upheaval in a second Trump term. Trump's economic policies, often described as populist, focused on tax cuts and deregulation. While these measures stimulated the economy in the short term, their long-term effects are still being debated. Critics argue that they primarily benefited the wealthy and corporations, exacerbating income inequality. A second Trump term could see a continuation of these policies, potentially leading to further trade disputes and economic instability. The global community would be watching closely, bracing for the impact of a world where the United States increasingly acts unilaterally in pursuit of its own economic interests. Section 4. The Tech Landscape: Innovation, Control, and Confrontation. The Trump administration aimed to assert American dominance while addressing security and competition concerns. This led to actions reshaping the global tech landscape, creating friction with allies and adversaries. Notably, the campaign against Huawei, accused of posing a national security risk. The US pressured allies to ban Huawei from 5G networks, creating a tech rift. The administration also targeted social media companies for alleged censorship and bias. Trump signed an order to limit legal protections for social media platforms, escalating tensions. Section 5. Energy: A shift in the sands. The Trump administration's energy policy represented a significant departure from that of its predecessor. Trump championed the expansion of fossil fuels, rolling back environmental regulations and withdrawing the United States from the Paris Agreement on climate change. The administration promoted the production of oil, natural gas, and coal, arguing that energy independence was crucial for national security and economic growth. This approach was met with criticism from environmental groups and many world leaders who saw it as a step backward in the fight against climate change. A second Trump term could see a doubling down on these policies, with the United States further entrenching itself in fossil fuels. This would have significant implications for global efforts to combat climate change, potentially putting the United States at odds with its allies and jeopardizing the future of the planet. Section 6. Immigration, Walls and Whispers. Immigration emerged as a defining issue of the Trump presidency, shaping both domestic and foreign policy. Trump's hardline stance on immigration was evident from the outset of his administration, with the implementation of controversial measures such as the Muslim ban and the separation of families at the US-Mexico border. The administration made significant efforts to reduce both legal and illegal immigration, implementing stricter enforcement measures, limiting asylum claims, and building a wall along the US-Mexico border, a key campaign promise. These policies sparked widespread protests and legal challenges, highlighting the deep divisions within American society over immigration. A second Trump term could see a continuation and even intensification of these policies. The administration could implement further restrictions on legal immigration, increase deportations, and further fortify the border wall. This would likely have significant social and economic consequences, both within the United States and internationally.